Thank you, Rob. Yeah. I just drink my coffee. I don't get it.
In the what? Not the box.
In the pocket.
The pocket. Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLa. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessica Moye. Happy Friday feels. We are streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. It's America's first live streaming daily talk show.
Right, and it's hashtag Friday Feels. We've got a great show in store for you. We're going to talk about a 75-year Harvard study and the secret to relationships. We also have one woman's inspirational story and how 52 ways of having a kick-ass life. And then finally a couple that's going to tell us a little bit about some great escapes for your bucket list.
Wow, a lot going on this show.
We have a lot going on this show.
It's very exciting. Good morning, Andrea Owen. We are so excited. Rob just gave me your book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. Thank you for being here this morning. Here on Good Morning LaLa Land, we'd like to know how very successful people like you start your day. What's your morning routine?
Well, I do have 2 elementary school-age children, so I do get them up and going to school. But when I get back, I have a journal where I write 3 things that I'm grateful for and 3 things that are my goals, whether they're short-term goals or long-term goals.
And what are your 3 things you're grateful for this morning?
Well, of course, I'm grateful for y'all. And I came from the East Coast, so this weather, I'm from here actually, so it's nice to be what I will always call home.
Oh,
nice.
Welcome back.
Welcome
back. 2 kids. She got here this early for somebody. Got to get kids to school. Got to get all this stuff.
She must have got up at like 3 a.m.
I mean, no.
Superstar. I'm so excited to talk to her more about her new book later in the show. We also have 2 very exciting guests. I'm so excited. Kevin and Kaliana. They've traveled the world and mastering their lives as a power couple, and they've got some great advice, including about the love languages. Are you familiar with 4 love languages?
Yes, 5 love languages. You're right about that. Yeah, there's probably one. There's probably a new one every day. Honestly, Jazz, there's like a new one every day, I'm sure.
Okay, so what are the 5 love languages?
Boy, put on
Let's
spot.
see.
So there's acts of service.
Okay.
Right? There are
Quality
gifts,
time.
Quality time.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation.
Gifts.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. See,
There
Jazz,
you
that's
go.
why we
See?
have you.
You know why.
She pretends not to be an expert, but she really is.
So what's your language of love, Rob?
Mine
The girls want to know.
Do they want to know? It's words of affirmation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't really, you know.
Did I tell you how great you are, by the way?
See, Dr. Erin, she's just
I'm
like
quality time. Sex,
Are you really?
basically. Just kidding. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
quality
right
time.
here.
Quality time.
It's funny because I was introduced to the love languages by my first boss, one of my first bosses, and he said to me something very simple. He said, "Hey Rob, I know we just kind of met, but I have a question. How do you know when someone likes you?" And I remember thinking like,
What?
I don't know. I thought about it for a little while and I said, I guess when they tell me, honestly. So the conversation goes on, we go on to other topics. About an hour and a half later, we're about to leave, and he's looked me dead in the eye and went, "Rob, I really like you and I really enjoyed this conversation." I forgot what you told me, but boom, it like hit me like an arrow to the heart, and suddenly I was like, oh my gosh, this guy really does like me.
Wow, fascinating.
You know, so it's amazing, you know, knowing your love language and that of other people's is so helpful
So
in terms of connecting,
helpful.
you know.
It really is, but it's interesting that you mentioned that, Rob, because you always very much speak from the heart and you're so authentic. But sometimes when I hear all these like great, amazing things from people maybe you don't know so well, you question the intention behind it. I'm like, oh, you think I'm such an incredible person? Are you really giving me words of affirmation and love?
Yes.
Or are you really just, you know, fluffing my feathers here?
Right?
Well, it's a throwback to Dr. DeVosla when she talked about that, right? She said there's a difference between being charming, which can be kind of manipulative at times, hello, if I can get it out, and being
Sociopath.
like kind, right?
Are you a sociopath or are you really not?
There's a
Which one
difference.
is it?
Yeah.
We want to know.
Absolutely. Well, it's really interesting because regardless of the language, Kevin and Kaliana have taken their relationship around the world. They've got several shows from The Great Escapes. They've got some great new shows, Follow Me, The Bucket List, Insta Famous, and a show I'm actually working on with them personally, Wild Beauty. So we've got an incredible little promo clip. I'd love for you to take a look.
When I think about you, my feelings can't explain why after all this time you stay on my mind.
Anthony Bourdain meets Great Escapes. We're going to the most epic luxury destinations around the world, but we're focusing on the people, the experiences, what's happening at the location, and what their views are, how they feel about America, about society, about the world, traditional customs, and really exploring what it really is like to be a local. Follow me to an overwater bungalow in Bora Bora.
And then to a temple in Japan and take a samurai lesson.
To an underwater restaurant experience in the Maldives, 16 feet under the surface of the water.
And then let's go play camel polo in Dubai. We were so excited about 37 million views on just 4K footage. But imagine what we could do with augmented reality.
You stay on my mind.
Anywhere.
Wow,
Yeah.
terrible life. I don't know how they do it,
I
honestly.
thought I had the best job in the world talking to people about happiness, but apparently they have the best job in the world.
See that fire dancer, and they were like in those underground submarine or underwater submarines, underground. What am I saying?
Next level. Next level. I have to revisit what I'm really doing with my life.
Yeah, no,
It's
seriously
amazing.
though, I can't wait to talk to them later in the show. And their secret to maintaining such a successful relationship while doing that. I mean, because while it looks glamorous, it is a lot of work.
Right?
That's a good point. And you
A
know,
lot of hard work.
So one thing I want to follow up you guys, because yesterday we talked about sadness, depression, anxiety, and I had to just like say that we talked about how sometimes like we watch too much technology before we go to sleep.
Yeah.
And remember I was talking about how there was an interview at Focus TV. We had Derek Lacey before Tanya Memi actually interviewed him. And guess what? They sent over a little gift for you guys
Wow.
right here.
Thank you.
These are little glasses that you can put on. You can actually wear them throughout the day. And they're for
at
technology,
that.
right? So when we're sitting on our phone early in the morning, which you really shouldn't do, and you put on your glasses and you turn on your phone and it's really bright, it's not good for your eyes. And
the light signal from the phone.
right, and so at night, especially
Wow.
when you're trying to kind of tone those parts of your brain down, you want to put these glasses on. So we want to give a shout out to Derek Lacey. Thank you so much for these. Thank you for
so
all your
much,
brilliance.
Derek.
I feel so much smarter with these on too.
Right, I know.
I feel like suddenly
They're super
They're looking
sexy
the
too,
part.
right?
they
I
are
mean-
looking the part.
Yeah, a little blue steel with these glasses.
Right?
So yes, I'm going to use them
Love
to
these.
read a message we actually got on Instagram
Okay,
talking
cool.
about the depression and the anxiety. One of our viewers reached out to me and sent a personal message that I opened up and I read this morning. I didn't listen and I looked at Instagram, but it was really important. I want to share it with you. It says, "Your stories are so fun, and although I probably won't ever send you a message again, I'd like to say have a nice life. I mean, people say have a good day, but that's so stupid if you don't ever plan on connecting again with the other person. It's better to say, well, have a nice life." Pretty weird message. I know I'm he says, "I'm looking to make myself laugh to avoid my pain at the moment," and I think it worked. Anyway, keep on the good work, soldier. Keep it coming.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah, it's so
It's
cool.
so
I think
nice.
that's the coolest things is when you get little messages from people around the world. For me, that's like the gravy of all this work, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it. And I like the point. It's a very good point. You know, we often wish somebody a nice day, but you really don't know if you're going to see somebody again ever. I mean, that may
true.
be the very last time you see or speak
Right.
to that person. So it's a good reminder that you can wish somebody a happy life at the same time.
For sure.
No, absolutely, and I want to encourage the viewers who are out there, and if you are struggling or if you're having a hard time, reach out to us, because that's part of what we're doing while we're streaming digitally to you live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Is we want to connect to you and connect with you directly live. So don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we're here for you, and we want to encourage you to be a part of our community at Good Morning LaLa.
Right.
Land.
So I want to get a second segment to get into Friday Feels and break this on down, but
Break
I
it
want to
down.
first say, hello, it's Women's March tomorrow. Are you going, Rob?
Absolutely, I'll be there. Yeah. You invited me?
He's like, I didn't even know it existed. Okay. Yes, I am going down. I've got a couple girlfriends from Santa Barbara coming down from the mudslides, and they are ralliers. They're coming down, and we're going to head down there early in the morning. I believe we're wearing white and wings, silver wings. And I was thinking, is everyone wearing black for Time's Up? I don't know. So I'm like Googling stuff. Like, I don't want to be, I want to be supporting, right?
Yeah, you gotta make sure that you're in alignment there.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm for sure bringing these glasses. That's what I know for sure. So on that note, let's get out to the second segment.
Yes.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about Friday Feels. We're actually going to break down some things to have better relationships, because just because it's dating and love relationship on Friday, all relationships is what help us get into a better place of life. Okay, so we'll be right back.
I'm Jackie Moye, host of Good Morning LaLa Land, streaming to you live Kevin, America's first daily live streaming talk show. If you missed it, this was This Week in LaLa Land. I've got my host, Victoria Simone, host of This Week in Focus, to help me out.
Hi, girl.
On Monday, we had Jessica Carroll. She introduced to the Focus TV network her new show, The Rosé Girls.
So excited for that.
So amazing. Anna Vergara, she was the boss lady with the classic glamour dolls. Also on Wealth Wednesday, we had Hala Denim with the perfect skinny jeans, as well as Daniel Hall. He is now seen as Scott Granger on CBS's Young and the Restless. Arian Alexander taught us lights, camera, action. And of course, on Friday, we had hashtag hair goals with the Miracle Elixir creator, Joyce Gerard.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
That was This Week in LaLa Land.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Today I have a special guest with me, Jasmine Moyer from Good Morning La La Land. Last week on the Focus TV network, we shot hashtag Harry and Kelly, Sex Talk with My Mom. Awkward. We also shot Millennial Life's Laura Odegaard. She interviewed Jess Carroll, who's also on your show.
Absolutely, with the big announcement that she's got a new show on the Focus TV network, The Rosé Girls.
I'm so excited for that. Jess, who else did you interview on your show?
We had Darren Hala, founder of Hala Denim in the perfect skinny jean.
Hala!
Also Daniel Hall, now Scott Granger on CBS's Young and the Restless.
So young and restless over here.
And Joyce Gerard with hashtag hair goals and the Miracle
Hair
Elixir
crush.
hair collection.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus, everyone. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Jess, thanks for helping me out.
Anytime.
Stay tuned.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are talking hashtag Friday Feels today.
Ooh, I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it too, and we've got some special guests in the house. Good morning, Kevin and Kalyana. Thank you so much for being here today. You have such an incredibly beautiful relationship. We just saw you traveling around the world in segment 1.
We did.
Yeah.
And we're jealous.
And we're jealous. Hashtag relationship goals. And we're also talking about love languages today. So what is your love language, Kevin?
Definitely quality time. I love to spend quality time with Kalyana as well as my family and friends. And I also really enjoy, I think, words of affirmation and touch.
Ooh. What about you, Kalyana? Are you speaking the same love languages?
Most of the time. Kevin really shows love languages in the way that I like to perceive, which is acts of service. Nothing makes me feel more loved when Kevin, does something for me. And also, I think quality time is a big one for me. So we have that in common.
Oh, that's good. And Andrea, what's your love language?
Definitely. When you guys were talking about it and going through them, it was a refresher for me. And I was like, hands down, acts of service. Like I said, I have 2 elementary school kids. I own a business. My husband works. I need some help around the house.
Lots of people can sympathize with you there, I think.
Yeah, that Swiffer just speaks volumes, doesn't it? Well, thank you so much for sharing your stories. We're so excited to get to know more about all of you later in the show.
Right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. That was the one we forgot, right?
We got all
Acts of
5,
service,
yeah,
right?
acts of service.
We did? Okay, cool. So, you guys, today is Friday Feels, and we want to talk about a great study, that 75-year study by Harvard, which is a fascinating topic, okay? So basically, Robert Waldinger, I want to get his name correct, he gave a great TED Talk on it. I highly recommend this. So basically, when we look at relationships, right? So it's not just about marriage or, friendship or business. It's all of life is a relationship, right? So they took 724 men, half of sophomores from Harvard and half from kind of almost like the ghettos of Boston, and they followed these guys for 75 years. And basically they found that their happiness, their health, and their brain chemistry all thrived from the relationships in their life.
Regardless of their walk of life.
Right? Regardless
Right.
of, some people came from nothing and made it great. Some people came from great families and destroyed everything through alcoholism. Some people, it didn't matter. What mattered was the quality of their relationship. So
Yeah.
it's such a fascinating thing, huh?
It is. When I was at Penn, we had the guy that actually conducted that study, George Valiant, come in and he spoke. And the key message for him was that relationships matter. They matter more than anything else in your entire life. And the relationships don't have to be romantic ones. They can be platonic ones. They can be professional ones. But the connection should be authentic and they should be supportive. And it's incredible how positive an influence relationships have on your health and your well-being. just
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
You know, it's another fascinating thing they said, just because someone's married does not mean that they have good relationship.
Really?
And in fact, a bad marriage can be actually worse for your health than being divorced. So it's about the quality.
It's interesting
not surprising.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think even in the few decades I've been around, I've realized in my life that relationships certainly come and go. Whether that's romantic relationships, friendships, family members. At times in your life, you're closer to certain people than you are with others, and you don't necessarily have to hang on to those if they're not healthy and serving you anymore. But recognizing that, that's the trick.
Hey man, you can live some people better from a distance. no question about that.
So the question is, do you feel supported? Do you feel like, they even said like marriages or people can bicker, and that's actually healthy as long as they feel like this person isn't going to leave and abandon me, like they're going to support no matter what.
Yeah, they call it active constructive discussions, and so they're the kind of discussions that you grow from, that you don't grow apart from, you grow together with.
Right.
But those are the hardest discussions to have.
They are, because it requires two people that are committed to the relationship and two people that have some self-awareness and emotional intelligence, which is often asking
So
for
fascinating. They
a lot.
finally started asking the wives and the women in these men's life, and the women were like, it's about time. So even Harvard, this study is time's up, you guys. So exciting time.
I will say one thing, and it's just my own personal experience, and that is that while relationships without question clearly are very important, it's the relationship that I think you have with yourself that forms the foundation. It sets the tone and precedent for all your other relationships.
For sure.
So,
Mic drop.
Yeah, it's a little, so it's a little challenging in sort of having this discussion, because other people supporting you is important and it's great, but at the end of the day, if you're not supporting you, I don't know.
And it's hard to not have a bias. Even Harvard did not have bias. Because I wonder, how much did they ask them about their spiritual faith and things like that? How much did they get into that aspect of their life, right?
Yeah, no question. I mean, you can only control for so many variables and test for so many variables.
Right.
So.
But so fascinating. So I say we get to the back, because we have I want to do a little bit longer interviews with both of these, both couples, because the couple and our amazing coach, and I love the title of the book, honestly. Just saying, not going to say it maybe.
Yeah.
We cuss every once in a while on here, right?
Yes, no, the title of the book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. And also the tagline, no punches pulled advice to women who want to stop undermining their own happiness once and for all. Amen, Andrea. I cannot wait to get back there and talk to her. So stay tuned. We will be right back with Andrea Owen and her book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit.
Hi guys, hola mi gente bella. As you all probably know by now, Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, becoming one of the biggest catastrophes for our beautiful island. Unfortunately, a lot of people have let it become old news, and we don't want to allow that to happen. So we want to continue helping, and every little bit counts. So if you want to join us to help,
we're going to help one school, 5 families, 14 girls, and there's only one you. So we need you. So do something today.
Help us impact the lives of so many in need, step by step, pasito a pasito.
Gracias.
This is Jack. His mother didn't save his childhood artwork.
She just threw it all away like it was garbage.
If only his mother had Archive.
Archive is the easiest and fastest way to chronologically store your child's art.
Snap a picture, tag it, and store it safely in our cloud.
Then share it with friends and family.
Even turn it into a calendar, mug, or your very own printed book.
Oh, you were going to make one yourself? Yeah, that's what his mom said.
Download the Archive app now and help us save art.
Archive, available now on the App Store.
Hey, Dr. Drew here, and I am on the HEAL Advisory Board. I got involved with this organization because it's the answer to our healthcare problem. Listen to me. You go to urgent care, you go to emergency room, you are paying for all that equipment all that infrastructure. You're wasting time. You're exposing yourself to sick people. All you got to do is go to heal.com or get the Heal app at heal.com. Get that Heal app, and you can have a doctor wherever you are. It's $99 if you don't have insurance, though most insurances cover it. It's the most effective way to get the care you're looking for and the most cost efficient. $99 all in. That's it. And you get a board-certified physician to show up wherever you are, your home, your work, whatever it is, 8A to 8P, 7 days a week, including holidays. And that board-certified individual, that licensed professional, is going to just be paying attention to you and focusing on you and using his or her judgment to take care of your needs in that moment. Go to Heal. Check it out. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Hi, this is Jennifer Eddy, and I'm here with Spa Girl Cocktails today. We're thrilled to be here with Empowerista and Girl Talk Network at UNITA and El Segundo to help support and empower women in the community. We have 2 flavors with Spa Girl Cocktails, Pear and Spa. Those are our signature cocktails. They're low calorie and gluten-free, all natural, nothing added. You can find us at Bevmo and Total Wine in all of your communities. We're thrilled to be here with Focus Magazine today in their December issue.
Hello everyone, I'm Joyce Gerard, creator of the Joyce Miracle Elixir collection, and I'm happy to say that it's the only collection out there that is not going to have any harsh chemicals, free of parabens, free of sulfates, free of sodium chloride, absolutely cruelty-free, because for me that is super important. And it's made right here in USA. And it's the only line that is going to deliver you the best antioxidants, vitamins, fatty acids, minerals, straight from Mother Nature. I've infused my entire line with buriti, maracuya, moringa, and argan. So you have the buriti, which is the tree of life. You have the argan, which is literally liquid gold. You have the maracuya, which is the richest source of vitamin C. And you have the moringa, which is the richest superfood in the world. So I've combined all these yummy ingredients from Mother Nature and delivered them straight to you, straight to your strands, straight to your face. In all my products, that's the base of it. And the most important thing is that everything is made with love right here at home in USA, straight for you.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and we're so excited. We have Ms. Andrea Owen, amazing coach and incredible author in studio today. Thanks for being here, babe.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And my friend.
Yay! Actual in real life friend.
Real life friend, I know, not just social media friend.
How did you two meet?
Friend of a friend. I was co-hosting a conference and he came in Huntington Beach.
Yep. What's up, Kira?
So many powerful women, Rob.
Yeah.
I don't know anything but that. I will say this, and I mean this with all sincerity. All of the women in my life are powerful and successful. And it may not be in ways that are traditionally accepted, but they're successful, absolutely.
Keep speaking that love language, Rob.
That's right.
That's just true.
And it's the titles of your book, the title of your website, everything, they're genius.
Thank you.
Did you come up with all of them?
I did. You know what's funny is way back in 2009, my very first website was called Live Your Ideal Life, which is so very life coachy and, you know, very cliche. And I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. And a couple of my friends were like, it doesn't match your personality. So that's how Your Kick-Ass Life was born. And then the titles of the books have followed suit.
What inspired you to become a coach and become an author?
It's a funny, not funny story. So I found out about life coaching back into around 2002 when it was very much in its infancy. And I thought about being a therapist, but wasn't sure if it was for me. And then I remember telling my then husband, I think that this profession's really neat, but I think you would need to have a lot of life experience in order to be a really great coach. So 2 years later, as we were, I know, cue the universe going, okay.
Careful what you pray for.
So 2 years later, as he and I were discussing trying to conceive our first child, we'd been married for a couple of years. We'd been together for 13 years at that point. He had an affair with our neighbor and got her pregnant. So we divorced, and it was very dramatic and traumatic for me. I was very close to his family. It was rough on everyone. And then I did probably the most unhealthy thing any person can do right out of that kind of a divorce is I started dating. Got myself a Match.com profile, and I was like, I know how to distract myself from this utter grief and pain I'm in. So I met a couple of really great guys and didn't want anything to do with them.
Naturally.
Right?
Naturally.
Of course. Was not in that place. And I met a guy whom I thought was really great, and he unfortunately had cancer,
We dated, and it was a hard relationship. It was lots of up and downs. He was sick, and then he wasn't sick, and he was getting better, and then he was very, very ill. And then it turns out, about 9 months into that relationship, that I found out that he had fabricated the entire story about having cancer and actually had an opioid addiction. And I'm from San Diego, so if anyone is, from there or knows, you can, Tijuana is a hop, skip, and a jump where you can pretty much get any medication that you want. And I thought we were going down there to get his cancer medication, but we were not.
Major plot twist.
So, oh my gosh, the whole thing, if I was gonna sit, every time I tell the whole sordid tale, people are like, did that actually happen to you? And I was in such a vulnerable place. I got conned, really is what happened. Thousands of dollars gone. I had moved out of my apartment and quit my job because he and I were gonna move away together. I was also pregnant. And he actually went away to rehab because, he wanted to make it work. And then while he was in rehab, he met someone there and fell in love with her and broke up with me.
Yeah.
So that was like my rock bottom, on the floor, crying. My apartment was empty. I didn't have my job anymore. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I was 31 at the time. It wasn't like I was some 16-year-old girl who really didn't know any better. Like, I knew how birth control worked. Like, I knew. So it was the first time I really got up and looked in the mirror and thought, maybe it's me. And of course the men in my life had done some pretty crappy things, but I had never taken responsibility for my life. I had never known how to take care of myself emotionally. I put all of my happiness in other people's hands. Like, if you are good to me, then I am happy. If then I can fix us. So it ended up not working out. So that's really when I started my life over and signed up for training, and 11 years later, here I am.
Wow. So then you're like, I have a book or 30 in me.
Exactly. I think I do have 30. At least a Lifetime movie script, right?
No question about that. Probably multiple.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can completely relate. I went to through a very similar thing. And I always say it's like the biggest blessing of your life when someone comes through that just has the universe has a brilliant way, or we have a brilliant way of pulling in exactly what we need to have self-love. So what does that look like for you now? What type of clients are you working with, and how do you base the love base when a lot of times people come they want money, they want fame, they want whatever it is, but you know that it all comes down to one thing, love. So how do you deal with that as a coach?
That's interesting, because the women that come to me into my practice, they know that those things aren't the answer anymore, because they've tried that. They have kicked ass in their career. They have done all of these things outside of themselves to try to get the fulfillment that they're looking for, and it's just not working anymore. And then they are really struggling in areas like perfectionism and people pleasing and all the things I write about in my second book. And I kind of, the metaphor I like to use is they have tied a knot at the end of their rope, they're holding on, and their palms are sweating. They're done. And they're like, what is it now that I need to do? Their personal relationships are suffering. But again, everything looks great on the outside. So it is about, they are ready to take responsibility for their life. And what we really work on is things like their core belief systems. At the end of the day, what do you really believe to be true about yourself? Write it down. And sometimes that's painful for people. It's these negative core beliefs that we all carry from childhood or from past relationships or whatever it is. Getting to the bottom of that, and that's one place that we start.
And what are some of these silent habits that these women have?
The most common ones, to pick one or two, and a lot of them overlap. So the ones I see the most are numbing out, whether that's with booze or shopping or work is a big one. The internet can be one too. Isolating and hiding out is another one. Perfectionism, overachieving. I get a lot of overachievers. And the thing is, you guys, is like these things work for a while. These things get us to where, successful careers, et cetera, et cetera.
And validation.
Totally. I mean, we all want that. We all need that as humans. But they just cross the line over into they're affecting their life negatively. So that's where we start to work on it and kind of pull back and figure out what are the behaviors that are actually going to be in alignment with the person that you want to be.
It's a great recognition that what you do because it worked at some point in time,
right,
and it no longer does, no longer serves you. So how do you do that? How do you take somebody who comes to that place, that recognition, like, okay, I see this unhealthy habit I have, but I want to create healthy habits now. How do you turn that around for them or help them turn it around for themselves? One of
the ways that we do that is we work on their value system. And so values is one of those things where people are like, values? Like, didn't I do that in some corporate training in 1999? So boring and unsexy, right? But it's so foundational. Like, how many people actually know what is important to you about the way that you live your life? And I don't really care for you to just name it, because I say values work without actually looking at the nitty-gritty is like naming your child and calling that parenting. It's not. Like, I want to know when stuff really hits the fan in your life, what are you going to do? What decisions are you going to make? If you're sexually harassed at work and it's easier for you to not say anything at all, does that in alignment with your values? So it's really about looking at past experiences and hypothetical situations where what does courage actually look like? What does honesty and integrity actually look like instead of just naming it?
So what if you are that woman though who is out of line, who recognizes, you know what, my reactions aren't in line with what my values are, but I can't get there.
Right? Because it's like subconscious work. Because as a doctor of divinity, you can analyze it, you can think about it, you go, oh, I want these values, but until you get into the core. So how do you do that?
I think, were you going to answer?
No, I was going to say I'm like, the answer is to call Andrea.
Well, I think the biggest part of it, because I'm not a fan of, I don't think you can go from A to Z. You know, we've been working this way for decades. You know, it's like, if you take the example of negative self-talk, how do you just change your self-talk? It's not just like, I make a choice and I change it. So what I think the first step is really just recognizing when you're in it. And trying to have self-compassion when you realize that you're doing it. Because what tends to happen is you realize that you're out of alignment, or maybe that you're having negative self-talk, and then you beat yourself up for that. And that feels crappy, like, let's be honest. So I work with people, we do something like, we have mantras. So if you realize that you're doing something that doesn't feel good, I always say to myself, like, well, that just happened. If you fall down, let's say, the rabbit hole of compare and despair, like, who doesn't do that on social media, right? Like, I want a life like Kevin and Kalyana. Like, oh, my life isn't like theirs. My life is horrible. So I would stop myself and say, okay, that just happened. That just happened. And then that way you can, start small. It's like learning a new language or learning a new dance. The people on, So You Think You Can Dance, they didn't just pick that up like that. It's a learning thing that we do. And, changing those neural pathways of the brain to think better thoughts and have better behaviors.
Wow. So much of what I love at you, Andrea, is that your work is based both in experience and it's based obviously in deep education, self-education. Were there particular authors or teachers or people in your life that have inspired you to get to the place where you are now? Or?
Great question.
One of the very first self-help books that I ever read was by the late Kenneth Carlson, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And
he was gangster. He was one of the OGs.
I know, he was OG.
Like low-key.
Completely.
Like, yeah.
And I love that, Wayne Dyer and even like Louise Hay, that was a little bit too deep for me in my 20s. I wasn't ready. I liked that in theory, I liked the idea of that.
I need to keep it very conversational at this point.
So I loved that book, and there's a whole series of the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Right. But definitely, fast forward, Brene Brown's been a huge mentor of mine. I'm certified in her work. I actually got to go and be certified by her and her senior faculty. It was incredible. And yeah, like the OGs, definitely Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay, the originals, and I'm trying to think. There's so many. You should see my bookshelf at
Endless.
home.
Yeah.
It's interesting when we have guests on. There's something about that. You just have this great energy. You feel really grounded and it feels so authentic. So I just want to say thank you so much for all your work, everything you're up to. I love the titles. I love everything you're up to. And just, I think it's profound, everything you've been through and how you transform that into your gift and calling. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
How can people find you?
I'm at Your Kick-Ass Life online on the web, and I hang out a lot on Instagram and Facebook as well.
And there's also a book club for people who buy your book.
Yes,
Tell us about that.
So that starts on January 22nd, and if you have it on audiobook or e-reader or paperback, I'm guiding people starting on January 22nd through a 4-week book study, because raise your hand if you've bought a self-help book and never read it. or you buy it and just read it and you're like, that sounds nice.
Yeah, or you carry it around just so everybody else thinks that you read it.
I didn't want that to happen with this episode.
Well, we have to take a break, but we'd like to have you come back on the final segment with everybody after this next interview, if you would, okay?
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay, great. Stay tuned, you guys. We will be right back.
Great. So the challenge starts with this book. Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles.
America's first live streaming daily talk show.
At 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And we have a sexy show for you today.
We have got Will, Leanne, and Gabe in the house. Let's go back there. Hi!
Talked to 4 beautiful, intelligent, conscious women. Clearly, I was miserable the entire time.
She has a TV show similar to your guys.
Ellen.
Yes!
Woo!
Yes!
The little peck, come on.
I feel so bad for Jess.
We're live to it for the people viewing.
For the people.
Wow!
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E Club Mickey Mouse.
We definitely were not prepared today, and it was
I'm okay on, but the other half completely.
We are streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Happy holidays.
It's gonna be a
Good morning, La-La Land.
5, 6, 7, 8. We are the Mouseketeers, and we proudly wear our ears. We mousin', we mousin', M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E Club Mickey Mouse. Good morning, La-La Land.
Welcome back. We are live in Los Angeles with Kevin and Kalyana on Good Morning La-La Land. Hashtag relationship goals.
Right?
Look at you.
Just look at it.
Look at
It's incredible.
Oh my God. So not only have you been around the world with Great Escapes, you've got some incredible projects happening right now. What are you working on?
Well, we have been really blessed because now we are in pre-production on 4 new shows. The first is Follow Me, which you just saw a promo of that. We travel around the world to the most epic destinations you could possibly imagine, from Bora Bora to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, even Bali, Morocco, and we're going to be experiencing it. So it's all about us experiencing the aspects of a samurai battle or underwater submarine experience. And we're going to be having so much fun and actually getting to know the cultures. So it's very conversational, very Anthony Bourdain meets Great Escapes.
Cool.
Bucket List is similar to what we just did with Great Escapes. We're traveling around the world and experiencing it. It's going to be a little bit less about the resorts and more about us as that luxury travel couple that's just enjoying the property and experiencing what you can do in these amazing places. I mean, we then are moving on to Insta-Famous, which I have been a celebrity fashion photographer my entire career, and now we're having Instagram supermodels, Instagram versus supermodels. So Instagram models that have like say 10 million followers versus real fashion models.
That sounds like drama.
Wow.
It is, and a lot of them are
Will you just make
crazy.
sure and put the microphone a little more up to your...
Yeah,
I
we
just
want
wanna
to
make
hear
sure
you.
everyone's hearing you. Okay.
People are like living vicariously through you guys, by the way. I mean, it looks like you are having the most incredible time, but doing it successfully as a couple. How do you maintain such a successful partnership and relationship?
Well, the cool thing about us is that we aren't actors. We are an actual married couple, and we hope that people viewing it gets the same sense of being in love and being in this wonderful tropical destination and, getting to experience living vicariously through us.
But it's not all glam. I mean, you've done the homework. You've done the homework. I mean, we mentioned something like about that MBTI personalities and the love languages. Tell us about that.
I think the biggest thing for us that we've learned, at least, through our dating and our relationships, is that it's all about compatibility. And, everyone, I think, in their earlier years tries to get the hottest person they can get. And then, maybe as you mature, you try to get the person that looks the best on paper. But what I've learned, if anything else, is that the most successful relationships have the most compatibility.
Wow, it's easy to be compatible when you're in the, Bahamas on vacation. How did you begin to know, like, we're actually compatible? We're not just having this beautiful, like, how do you actually know that when you're like places like that, destinations that are so beautiful?
Well, anyone's compatible in those destinations. You're absolutely right about that. But before we had the shows, we actually got married, and believe it or not, before I met Kevin, I made a list of the top 10 things that I was looking for in a man that I thought would be the most compatible with me. So for example, I'm an oldest child, so I wanted a youngest child. I'm a kinesthetic, so I was looking for also a kinesthetic. I wanted him to be exactly 6 inches taller, very specific.
Yeah,
so
that you were clear.
Yes,
Crystal clear.
6 inches so that when we stand together, I can put my head in his neck. I wanted an artist, I wanted an entrepreneur. Yeah. And, you know, I literally went around asking all of my friends and everyone that I met, do you have anyone that matches this description? I wasn't going to go on Tinder. I was like, I know exactly what I want in a man. 7 billion people, just need one.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's so much more of an evolved version of Weird Science. Did you ever see this in the movie Weird Science? I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
Basically, the guys had an idea of what they wanted the perfect woman to be, and then it went like it became a disaster, kind of.
Totally.
This is like the perfect opposite of that.
Yeah.
Perfect foil of that.
So then what happened? We want to know. So how did you actually meet?
Well, I love how supportive you are, because most people that I ask were like, you need to lower your standards, you need to be more open-minded. And I was like, I just need one person out of 7 billion. There's got to be like one person that matches this description.
That's right.
Yeah.
Incredible! Wow. So I have to say, I have a question. So you know, I know we talked about how great traveling is, but I would imagine, as Jessamine mentioned, traveling has to be kind of a test for relationship at times too.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say are the greatest hardships you've experienced in traveling?
Well, you know, we got a taste of this early on, and I think that if you really want to see if a relationship's going to be successful or not, go and spend a few weeks traveling with somebody, and stuff gets real. Okay, so
yeah.
Within the first couple of months of us dating, I mean, that was very, very new. I went to Milan Fashion Week because I was doing fashion stories in Milan, Rome, and Venice. So I asked her if she wanted to come. So I took her to Milan. And within a couple of months of us dating, I mean, that was very new. So, you know, things get real when you're traveling around, and with me lugging, you know, hundreds of pounds worth of lighting equipment and going to these
and surrounded by thousands of beautiful, incredibly talented women.
Definitely. And then I actually got sick while I was there, and I ended up actually contracting some sickness from eating the food there, and ended up in a hospital in the emergency room, and she was there, you know, right by my side the entire time. And it got real, and you know, and you get tested, but I think traveling, especially when we're doing these travel destinations to Bora Bora, you know, it is 5 to 7 star resorts, but you know, we're filming for 12 to 16 hours a day. I mean, we're busy. We are working, and we spent about 120 days traveling this last year around the world.
It's incredible. So how do you keep your energy sort of up and positive when you're working that many hours? Yeah, it's a beautiful place, but we've all been to beautiful places and felt like it was hell, right? We've all done that. So how do you do that?
That does not look like hell, right?
No. But sometimes on the inside it feels like that, even though it looks like that on screen. How do you guys keep the positive energy up?
You know, that's it's something about bringing the right people with you. You know, we have an amazing crew. We're able to enjoy it and actually spend a few days at each location actually just having fun. You know, even stuff that we didn't film, swimming with sharks or going ATVing, things like that. We're still going to have fun and really have some down days so you don't get too overwhelmed. But you know, one of the things I wanted to mention was with MBTI, it really is a pivotal aspect of understanding not only yourself, but also those around you.
MBTI being Myers-Briggs type.
Exactly. Have you guys taken the test? Excellent. And what are you?
INFJ, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wait, break it down. I don't know what
it's basically a personality assessment that allows you to get clear about what type of personality you are. That's a simple way of saying it, but there are all kinds of different dimensions.
There's Colby. I use Colby a lot.
So it's like, are you introverted, extroverted, or you tend to be more judging, or you tend to be more feeling, thinking versus, so there's all these dimensions, but basically you get a personality type after you take the test, and it kind of tells you what kinds of things you could do or should do.
These are the future of dating apps.
You know, what's interesting about that, the Myers-Briggs test, is that it's been around for 80 years. Over 70 million people have taken the test. So it's in all the major consulting firms, Deloitte, McKinsey, they all use this. So all Fortune 500 companies use this. And what's fascinating about it is there's actually a compatibility chart. So you can actually take the test, takes 10 minutes free, you can look it up online. And then when you discover what you are, you can take the test and you can see how compatible you are with your mate.
So how compatible were you two when you took the test?
Well, that's the interesting thing is we actually just took this test about a year ago independently, and we are, out of the 16 different types, She is only less than 1% of the population. She's an INTJ, which is 0.8%, and I'm an ENTP, which is approximately 2%. And we, in the compatibility chart, are the #1 most compatible. That you can
Look at
be
you
on the
manifesting
relationship goals.
I think this woman looks like she knows what she's doing. Just a little FYI. She's like, I know I'm a goddess, and I know exactly what I deserve.
But she's also the most intelligent person I've ever met. And to me, the intellectual compatibility was vital.
Well, I think I took the romance out of it by making the list. I think I did. My list was exactly an ENTP, whether I knew it or not, in those words. So it was really interesting to have that, scientific validity afterwards.
Wow. So I have to tell you, I'm so happy that you guys are so compatible, just because I love you guys being happy. But I used to work for Deloitte, and I used to run those assessments, and I am glad that you're compatible for that reason as well, because all my Deloitte alum out there are watching, and they'd be really freaked out right now if we said, hey, it was the worst test ever, it doesn't work. They're spending millions of dollars pushing down the drain. So yes. So for you guys, I know that it's been such a journey, right? And I can imagine that you've accomplished so many things on your bucket list. So what's left?
Right?
Oh, well. We're actually right now filming a feature film. And I ironically star a fashion photographer named Philippe in a new film called Ghost of You. And she stars as a high-powered talent agent. And it's, we're actually in the middle of production right now, so we're kind of doing it in between all our other shoots, and so that's exciting. We're also getting ready for. I also own the most exclusive high-end photographic workshop series in the world, Photography Workshop Travel and Photography Workshop Series, and we provide elite photographic experiences where we take people around the world. We're doing a lion safari to Tanzania in the Serengeti. Photographing gorillas in Uganda to this October heading to Morocco and photographing in the Sahara, in addition to high-end fashion workshops where we shoot supermodels. So it's a really
so
we have a busy schedule, but it's a lot of fun, and we like to empower others. That's a really important aspect of our mission, is to empower others and give them the opportunity to create the greatest images and video of their lifetime.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much. You guys are so inspirational. I can't believe it. And you're giving help for people out there. So go take your test. Get your personality test, right? So where can they find you? What are all the different sites?
Well, you can take a look at photographyworkshopseries.com, photographyworkshoptravel.com. Those are for the photographic expeditions. I want you to definitely check out Atreyu.tv. And that you can see promos for upcoming TV shows, and of course take a look and keep updated on IMDb and see all the cool stuff that we're filming.
Awesome. Anything else before we take out of the segment?
Yeah.
I just want to tell you guys that I am a huge fan of the show, and I think that you're by far the best looking, most beautiful morning show I have ever seen. I mean, you're gorgeous. And no, seriously, I mean, the impeccable dress. You guys are, and it's such an intelligent show. It's a show that inspires others, and I love your conversation, manifesting, making people feel good. It's really inspirational, and I'm really excited to see everything that happens with this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to echo Kevin's thoughts as well, because it is wonderful to see such positivity on TV. And like you were saying, relationships, it's your circle of influence, that starts your day off right, that, influences everything that you do. So I absolutely love the content, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks so much.
Part of our Good Morning La La Land community. Stick around. When we come back, we're going to bring Andrew Owen back on set and finalize the little segment.
Right, I'll be back.
Just authentic. And so I think that's one thing I realized that I had my whole life was will. I'm so determined to get to where I want to go. I'm not going to let nothing stop me, not even myself. Right? And I try to tell my clients and people, it's all a mindset. You got to really want it. They said, you can change anything, but before you change anything, you got to change it in your mind first. Just because I always say, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
I'm Eden Sassoon, and I own 2 Pilates studios, Eden by Eden Sassoon Pilates. And to be quite honest, I hate socks. But my girlfriend Sally just created a line, Mantra Socks. And to me, at Pilates, you cannot get on my machine without socks. But now, you can get on my machine with the intention. Today, I have Be Love. To me, that means a lot. But also, when you buy a pair of these socks, one pair gets donated to a homeless shelter. And that is something, that's really what matters, to be quite honest. It's not just about the sock. It's about the intention. It's about what you're giving back and how you're paying it forward. And so for that, Sally, I thank you. And I love mantra socks.
Hi guys, I'm Joyce Gerard and I support my beautiful friend Sally with her mantra socks. Look how cute they are. Be Love is my favorite. So go get them. Run and get them on Amazon.com.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It has been an incredible show. #Friday Feels today.
Look at this fabulous group we have here. So fun.
Gorgeous. And I'm so excited because I want to announce that I'm currently in pre-production with Kevin and Kalyana on an awesome beauty travel show called Wild Beauty. So stay tuned. We're going to give you a little sneak peek in a couple weeks of what we're working on. But I mean, as soon as I met them, I was like, what can we do together? Let's collaborate. Hello, you're gorgeous. Let's be a part of this.
So
it's really exciting. Yes.
So one of the things we're doing on our final segment is we have a little gift for you guys. They are called Karma Army coins, and they're basically coins to pay it forward out there in the world. And basically, you can do a good deed, whether it be buying somebody a cup of tea or buying them a trip to the
Bora Bora.
If you need volunteers, I'm in on that.
And then basically on the website you can actually, it's a code and you can put in whether something was done to you or whether you have given something paying forward. And the point is we want good karma to go spread around the world. And you can track.
Coin gets tracked.
Yes, and you can track your butterfly effect of whatever.
When you do your good deed and somebody says, well, thank you so much, like what am I supposed to do? That's when you pass your coin on. And you say, all you need to do is pay it forward and track your kindness. And we really want to see the change that we can make in this world beyond La La Land. So, and also if you can tell us what you've done. Reach out to us, do a little Instagram story, or just write us and let us know how you've shared your kindness so we can talk about it on the show.
And we want to just spread the love, I think they say it's spread the love, keep the change is their tag. So
yeah. Bring this to Africa. Let's see what happens when we do a good deed in Africa and how far that goes. Ride a safari and you can just pay it to the guy who's driving that Jeep and keeping you alive.
Right. So it's Friday. So what are you guys up to for the weekend?
Well, we're going to be filming.
Oh, yeah?
You guys are always filming.
Yeah, we're filming our feature film. And I also wanted to mention, too, that you guys, the viewers, I'd love for you to see the current issue of Cool America Magazine. There's a whole feature editorial about our adventures in there.
Cool.
So definitely take a look.
Absolutely.
Hey, Andrea.
I am, it's Friday, in Mira Mesa in San Diego. I have a book event, which is going to be really awesome because where I'm from, and so it's going to be a really huge turnout with people I've known my whole life. So Mira Mesa Barnes & Noble.
Congratulations.
Check that
That's
out.
a big one, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge one. Books are interesting. We both have written books, and I always say the book writes you. It's
totally.
a lot of work.
Me.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I'm
So
going to start
congratulations
reading
on that.
this book. I'm not writing one just yet, but I'm going to start reading with my new glasses right here. And Andrea's new book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. So.
They do.
That was a great promo.
Yeah. Start changing my life. 14 habits.
The challenging thing, I will say this, the challenging thing I think about books or doing anything is that as soon as you write it, it's almost like you're forced to double down on everything you wrote in the book. Has that been your experience?
Totally, especially in self-help.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't be walking around not walking my own talk. Talk about feeling like a complete hypocrite. Yeah.
So my book made me feel like shit.
There were some chapters where I'm like, I gotta work on this.
Yeah. It's like being an actor and becoming well known for playing that particular role. Everybody expects you to be that all the time. Right? Do you guys get that too? They're like, hey, where are you guys heading off to this week? And you're like, this is the weekend we stay home.
We're actually homebodies most of the days at home. Yeah.
Thank God I don't have to travel. Oh, that's a lot of work.
One of the other questions I have for you guys is, this show is really about helping people realize that they can go for their dreams. It doesn't matter how small or how big that dream is. And that LaLa is really the epitome of people chasing what they most love about life and most love about, themselves and the world. And so for you guys, what would you say to people that, they want to do something different, they want to chase something, chase a dream, go for what they love? What advice would you give those people, or what encouragement?
I would say definitely tell people who you know will be in your corner, because I think we've all told that dream to people who are like, are you sure in this economy? Or, and kind of poo-poo your dream. So make sure it's those close people that you know, that you trust, that will help you succeed in that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I think that proximity to power is really important. So being around, putting yourself in the situations where you're going to meet the connections, the network, the people that you need to make your goals happen. But also just having a never-ending, never-yielding dream, and having it, making sure that you're pursuing it and doing the steps that need to happen to make it happen. And I think that the biggest challenge, especially for those that I mentor, is that a lot of them will develop the greatest images or the greatest video that they've ever shot in their life, but then nothing happens. And I want to make sure that they're actually going to go out there and develop a plan, develop a strategy, a business plan, and go out there, actually put the effort in to make it work.
I love that.
Nice.
Yeah, and then what I would say is that just manifest it. And I think that, when people are, make a list, for sure. But, when people try to manifest things, I think the mistake sometimes you make is that you try to pull things towards you so hard. And what you can do is just create the space and it will come. And that's kind of what I did with Kevin. Is I didn't know what he'd look like or anything, but I just imagined myself every night before I go to sleep, before I met him, I just imagined this feeling of excitement that would just bubble up inside me every time I saw this person. And I think that, if you do the same thing, whether it's a new job, a place you want to go, a new relationship, it'll happen.
She's having.
Yeah, it's how you imagine it in your mind, how it's going to feel, sound, taste, everything. And
I love
opportunities
that.
will just come.
It's so powerful, and we were talking a little earlier in the show about some of the OGs of the self-help movement, and Neville Goddard was a huge OG, and he wrote books that were like 10 pages long, 15 pages long, and they were precisely and exclusively about what you just said. And I find it really powerful, because if you can take that emotion with you throughout the rest of the day, it's amazing the opportunities that develop out of seemingly nowhere.
The Game of Life also, which was read by Shivel. Oh, that's a great one. She was a master.
And I think there is science behind the way it works, because if you've ever noticed, say you have to buy a new camera, you notice these camera ads everywhere that you've never noticed before. And if you're manifesting and it's constantly on your mind, you're going to notice the opportunity when it's ready.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. Such true. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, you guys.
We are streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Good morning, LaLa.
Have the best weekend ever. And maybe rock Women's March in Los Angeles tomorrow. There, be there and rise up. Support you guys. Big hugs.
Time's
up. It's going to be a
Yes.
So great to meet you guys.
So much.